Right, that's better. I've tried to make this video a couple of times now and have come out completely unprepared, so this time I am 100% prepared. I have all the recipes listed and everything. Now, a lot of people have been asking me why I've been away for so long from the server, not been around or anything. Now the reason behind that is I have been addicted to the single player mod IndustrialCraft. Well, IndustrialCraft is multiplayer, but they bought out IndustrialCraft2 recently, which is a complete recoding of the whole thing from the ground up and adds a few new cool features and stuff. But because I never played the first one, I don't know what those are, so don't ask. I've also given myself all the materials in these boxes, so that I am more prepared and won't have to sit fiddling around for ages. Now, what I've done is I've done a nice cutaway of the map. I've deleted all of the ore, all of the stone, all of the dirt, all of that rubbish, so people can see the 3 new ores this mod adds. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with IndustrialCraft, but it adds, first of all, copper. Now, copper can be used to make new armour, which is actually a mixture of copper and tin, come to think of it, which is bronze armour. It's slightly more durable than iron and about the same stats, apart from durability, and it looks like this colour. Copper can be found from top down, basically. Then there's uranium, which can be used later on to make nuclear fuel or nuclear TNT, I guess you could call it, although I haven't found out the code for that yet, the recipe, and that can be found also at any level. Then you've got tin, which starts about halfway down, and as you can see it's also pretty common, like copper, but doesn't start until, where are we now, 42, level 42, let's say. So my advice would be, if you're going to start a world on IndustrialCraft, you should have a decent mind going before you start any of the more complicated stuff. Let's get rid of fly mode. Now, the basis of IndustrialCraft, the very, very basics. I can't believe I actually forgot stone out of all of this. Gave myself stacks and stacks of everything I needed and I forgot stone. Typical. Right. Very, very basics are that you can start off. I mean, everyone knows the basic furnace that you've got here. And that will smelt, 1 coal will smelt 8 work units, let's say. So you can smelt up 8 stone, you can smelt up 8 copper ore, or anything like that. Now, what IndustrialCraft does, the very first item it gives you, I would say, the first one available to you, is an iron furnace. Which seems like a basic upgrade, but it lets you smelt more with 1 coal. This one does 8, this one does 10. Although I'm not going to sit here and watch that. It may not sound like a lot of difference, but when you are digging around and getting a lot of ore and not much coal, even though coal is as abundant as grass these days, it can make all the difference. So that's the first thing. Fantastic. It's a nice little addition on its own, but not what we are here for. Go away. Yes, anyway. So we can let that cook along happily there. That is the basis of generators. Now, generators are the main force behind IndustrialCraft, you could say. Generating power is the main goal. So I will show you a generator now. What you have to do first is you start off with an iron furnace. Oh, I forgot to add. Forgot to add. On IndustrialCraft you can smelt iron ingots, iron bars into refined iron. All you have to do is cook them like normal, like anything else. They'll take the same amount of time and pop out refined. And you can use refined iron for a lot of things. Actually, let's not do that yet. You can use refined iron to make machine blocks. Now those are the bases of most of the new machines you can get in this. That's all stopped. What was I doing? Generator. Right, for a generator you need to make a battery first. Batteries are also pretty useful in this because at the start you can use them for mobile tools, but later on you need them as the basis of machines. So you start off with 4 tin there, that's a new tin ore there. I'm not going to bother mining it and smelting it and showing you all of that because it's pretty obvious what it is, where it is. and you put a wire at the top and 2 redstone there, and this turned into a battery. I have to say it's a rechargeable battery. I haven't even bothered to touch the non-rechargeable batteries because I don't see the point personally. Now batteries, oh no, this isn't a generator, you can't do that. I was going to say, hang on a sec, there. You put them in that layout and you get to make a generator. There's other layouts that involve normal furnaces, but they involve the same amount of iron and you have to refine more, so I thought it's easier to do it this way. Now the generator is the most important part of industrial craft. Let me make you a new battery and I'll demonstrate it. Make you? I'll make it for myself. You can't have it. There. Right, generator. You can put whatever you want at the top, and in this case it's a battery. In other cases it may be working machinery, like you get a drill later on, which is very useful, and a chainsaw, which is a lot of fun. Now if you put fuel in the bottom, it will send it straight to the top, basically. Whatever's in the top it will cook. Not cook, generate I suppose, turns it into electricity. In this case it's heating the battery and filling up the battery gauge. Now when nothing's there, it starts to turn in on itself, heat up the machine, let's say. And that means each generator has, it's called a heat level or something like that, but in my opinion it works like a battery storage, because if there's no fuel in here it will use that to power whatever's in the top. I'll show you once this runs out and you'll see what I mean. It's like a temporary storage so that the generator still keeps some of its power. There you go, and it uses some of that into there, but it's not as much as it could do. So that heats up a battery. Now you may say, what use are batteries? Well, like I said earlier, batteries are used for tools. Let me see if I can dig one up a second. Yes, here we go. I've got the schematics out for a mining drill. It's pretty similar to making a chainsaw as well. Actually, let's make a circuit first. Actually, let's make 2, and then I'll show you how to make both of those things, because they are a lot of fun once they're up and running. So we've got circuits there. Oh, need 2 batteries. 2 batteries, right, and we need a lot of refined iron, which we've already got, so that's fine. Now I have to point out that you can make this recipe with full batteries and it will give you a full drill. You don't have to charge the energy. Now if you want to do this for the chainsaw, the recipe is pretty similar. It uses up all the same materials but on its side, and you have yourself a chainsaw. Let me just fill it up. Right, it should be noted you can use batteries to power these items. Right, let me show you this one here. If I put a load of fuel in there, it will start to generate enough power to charge the drill, as you can see there. But if I've got the chainsaw here and I've got a battery on me, if I hold right mouse button on the battery, you can see the battery goes down, chainsaw goes up. I'm not sure exactly how it prioritizes what you use, what the energy goes on to when you're doing that, but I know it eventually evens out for all of them. You can see it's actually a lot quicker than doing this. So if you want to put up a load of generators and convert the coal into the batteries, then you can use them on the move. Let's just wait until that's there. Now these are a lot of fun, these tools. Let me go show off the chainsaw, considering it's the most full. Let's go tree slaying. It makes your jobs a lot easier. Look at that, speeds right through it. You still use it like a normal block, like a normal tool, left mouse button held down for this, and it just minces right through them. It's great fun. Now the drill, it works very well on stuff like dirt, and it works just as well on stone, to be honest. Now it should be worth noting here that there is an upgraded version of this drill, not that it seems to need it, that is diamond. You get 3 diamonds, you put it on the end, and it works all the better for it. Also another small point to make, all the IndustrialCraft tools, I should say, are indestructible. They will never break unless you use them to batter mobs around. Mobs can break them, but that's why you've got swords later on, which will be lots of fun to explain. And then all you need to do is come back here, recharge them and carry on. Or if you've got a battery, same applies. Hold down the battery, right mouse button and go for it. Now there is one way even to avoid having to do something as menial as that. Let me show you. It's a very fun little tool called a Jetpack. Make sure I've got all the parts. Yes, I need that, another circuit, 6 batteries, bingo. So we stick that there, and we get the batteries down the side, and they're all held together, and this is the Jetpack. Let's go and stick it in there a second. Now this will take a lot of energy to fill up, so if you're going to stick it in a generator you're going to be waiting a while. But the basic premise behind this is it's wearable armour. And if you put that there, you can see it's on your character now as a bunch of batteries. And you can use your tools, and when your tools start to run low on energy, it will use up whatever's in the backpack. See, it's actually going up now through use as well, but because the battery pack isn't charged, it's starting to go down already. So it's a lot of fun. You can fill up a backpack, go mining, go lumberjacking, and be out for days, if you wish. Don't know why I'm filling up that battery again. But yes, that makes things a lot more interesting. But now you keep thinking, well, I'm just using coal, aren't I? Still moving all the same stuff around. So what I'll show you now is the electro furnace. I've got all these up here somewhere. There it is. Right, the electro furnace is, as you've probably guessed, a normal furnace. Well, an iron version of the furnace, but more efficient. And can also be run from generators, which is where generators start to come into their own. 90% of what generators do isn't what I was just showing you. That's very early days stuff. Let's just stick that there. Now, if you connect them up like that, then you can stick some fire in there and it will auto-translate straight over to there. Auto-translate? Something like that. And you can use the furnace to do, the electro furnace to do whatever you want. It's also worth noting, the electro furnace is apparently, I think the quoted number is 12.5% faster than the iron furnace as well. So it's even better than the one that's even better than our normal ones, which has a lot of stone in it. So that's great, you may think, but what happens if I run out of energy? Well, run out of smeltables before I run out of energy. Well, that is where you need energy storage. Another staple of this add-on. Allow me to show this mod, I should say. For that, you need three more batteries. I'm not going to use that one because when batteries are part charged, they can't be used in recipes for some reason. Let's just grab myself some wood. Right now, one of them there, one of these here. They can be used if they're fully charged, they can be used if they're empty, but not if they're part charged. That sorts that out. So, let's get rid of that. And stick that in the middle. But that's facing the wrong way. Right, any storage unit, there's 3 different tiers of storage units that you can get throughout this game. And this is the first one. It can hold 40,000 EUs, which is electric units, energy units, I think actually. And anything from the generator that goes into there will be stored there nice and neatly. Now all of these have an output face, which is one face that's different from the rest. And using this wrench, which I'll show you how to get later on, you can change the face. The wrench can also destroy the box, but you'll lose all the energy you've just gathered in there for any purpose. So what you can do now is sit back, stick all your coal in there, sit back and watch it fill up this, or you know, if you go mining, stick a stack of coal back in there when you get back, let it fill up that for use later, and then that'll translate to the electro furnace when you need to use it. So you can smelt up all of that in preparation and stick whatever you want in here. Don't know why I keep using stone as demonstration, we're never going to need it. And that will come out of the battery. Now the battery can input from loads of furnaces. You can wire up a dozen along here if you want, on either side of this, on top of it, on top of the cabling, and it will all go straight to the furnace, whatever power they are, and they will generate power straight into it nicely. The output is 32 EUs. Any machine can take a maximum of 32. If it takes any more than that, you get fun explosions. I've done that quite often. When I was first playing this mod, before I figured out the wiring principles, I blew up so many machines it's not funny. And yes, I cried. Actually, no, I didn't. But it's very thoroughly annoying when you put one wire wrong and half of your work explodes, taking a lot of materials with it. Now, you may think, what's the point of this? Because you're still basically putting in coal and using heat to convert stuff, so you might as well be using a furnace. Well, apart from the efficiency upgrades, there's another benefit to this, which is that battery boxes and any other kind of storage unit can be wired up to other fuel sources, which still count as generators, but are a lot more efficient. Oh, before I show you that, I need to show you a macerator, because that is essential for getting the fuel, the next generator that I use. A quick word, macerator is basically, there it is, it's basically a machine that will grind up anything you put in it, anything that can be ground up anyway. And do I need a circuit? Yes, I do. And the good thing about that is, sorry, I'm completely lost here. Yeah, there we go. Arrgh. Go away, rain. Does that work? On single player? I guess it does, that's handy. Nice little add on this, lets you do single player commands. I can link that if there's a request for it. Right, this will let you grind up ores, for example. Now you may say, why would you want to grind up ore? And you'll be right to ask. Because, let's just place this down and I'll demonstrate. If you put an ore in here, why haven't I got a demonstrating ore? Forgive the massive cheating again. There we go, that'll do. Right, shove an ore in there. As you can see, it's also being generated from the box, and power is going down in blocks of 32 as it is used. Now, what's going to happen here, you may be thinking? Well, it's grinding up this wonderful iron ore that you'd usually stick in a furnace and giving you 2 dust in return. Now, dust, every dust can be used to smelt into, voila, 1 bar. So this macerator pretty much doubles the amount of ores you're getting in from each block. Very nice. A nice little upgrade to your supply line. But of course it all still uses a coal generator, for example. And you spend a lot of time doing that. Right. Now the first thing you got to do to get the generator I use is get some of these. While that's happening, let me talk you through a few things. There are lots of different types of generators in this game. There is, I've got the list next to me, normal generators which you put coal in. There's geothermal which you put lava and lava cells in. And there's a nuclear reactor which pumps out a lot of power, but is quite unstable and can provide amazingly fun explosions, which I will demonstrate later. I'm tempted to do that now, actually. Let me dig up a nuclear bomb for you guys. It has the same explosive radius. Now, nuclear bombs you can make out of... There we go. I'm going to keep fly mode on for this because you need to be a long way away. I've tried running it, and it doesn't always... Actually, let's go a bit faster. Whee! It doesn't always get you far enough away, fast enough. Yeah, I think this is a good place for it. Actually, what about this place? Plenty of sheep around, collateral. Nah. I think that's far enough away. I think. It gives you a lot of time anyway on the fuse. Now this can be made out of uranium and normal TNT. It's taking a while, isn't it? Whoa! I guess I missed the explosion. Oh. But yes, makes some interesting patterns, and somehow the sheep survived, although it's probably going to glow in the dark. So yeah, stick one of these in a cave, and it is very useful for mining, I'll tell you. Takes out a massive chunk. Unfortunately, like most things, it still damages. Oh, I guess the sheep did die. There's some black wool there. Like most explosions, it does damage a lot of the ore. You only get some of it dropping. If people are wondering what that is, that's from Buildcraft. It's the oil wells they provide. It's geyser of some description. It's very nice, and I translated it there so I could use it on this map for later on. And it's used to work quarries. Whoa, where did all of these come from? Right, anyway, the macerator's most likely finished. Right, 3 coal dust, and you can use that to make my favourite... Oh yeah, I was still talking about generators, wasn't I? Sorry, blonde moment there. Right, generators. You have nuclear reactor, like I said, which is dangerous, but if you keep it under control, it's fine. You've got water mills, and you basically plonk them in the middle of a load of water, and you can have water above, below, around it, and it provides a very little amount of energy, but it's steady and it's clean energy. There's windmills, which you can place up high, and I've never used them myself, but apparently they're very variable on their incomes, as in sometimes they'll give you a lot, sometimes they'll give you nothing. Because there's no actual wind in this game, I suppose it has to randomise what it produces to simulate wind. And there's also my favourite, which is solar generators. Now, solar power, they are a steady stream. Obviously, they only work during the day, but they also work during bad weather and all of that. They are a steady stream of energy. And actually, I'm going to steal this generator. We don't use it anymore, do we? That is the wrong tool. They're a steady stream of energy, inexhaustible, never need to refill it with anything at all, which is a massive bonus. But it does also produce very little power. Here we go. It produces, I believe, 1 EU. Plonk that down on the wire, and it's producing energy. And there's your free energy. Now, one thing to note is... I'm trying to think of something to smelt here. Screw it, I'll just put those back in. One thing to note is one of these obviously does not produce as much as you use up with one machine even, so you're going to need a lot of them. Now I tend to make large banks of them. You can do them any way you want. You can do nice little flowers where you do them like this, like I used to. Let me just demonstrate actually with a few freebies. You can make flowers of them like this, which are quite popular online for some reason. And all of these will produce energy and pump out here into a battery box. There. And these obviously produce quite a lot of energy when there's this many. And you can put them on top as well. There you go. And you've got a nice little working flower which is pumping out loads. Sweet. There is one thing I want to show quickly actually before I go into more detail on that. I keep getting distracted by cool stuff, sorry. Right, this is a very useful little tool. It's an EU reader, and what that does is it measures the voltage going through these. There you go, 1 EU. So that thing produces exactly 1. These things produce 4. Which may not seem like a lot, but the reason behind that is for every bit of wiring. Sorry, I was just digging up some stats there. Yeah, per on standard copper cabling, there is a loss of 1 EU per 5 cable. But even so, that shouldn't account for how much is being lost here. Oh, there you go, it's at 7 now. Either way. Which is still a bit of loss, but solar power, as I said, is low powered. And quite slow to build up generators. I mean, battery storage. But the main thing is, it's free. So once you've got something like this set up, you can basically, with the electric generator, smelt anything you want for free. Now as you can see, it's struggling a bit here because it's only getting 1 in. Let's give it a leg up, shall we? For the purposes of this video, I will cheat a bit more. Add some more wiring. Now, battery boxes, generators of any kind can be linked together. You can link one generator to the next generator to the next generator. The last generator in the line is the priority, and that will hold all the power. So all the power from all the previous ones will transfer to that one at its maximum speed, which is 32 EU. And that fills up nice and neatly. And all of these will be able to run quite happily. I don't know why I'm still smelting stone. No idea. But yes, this basically means that you, like I said, now do not need coal to do anything. You don't need coal to smelt. Let's put it that way. And the next benefit, battery boxes themselves can be used to charge items up. So you don't have to go through all the generator fuss itself. You can charge items in generators. Let me just wear this down a bit and I'll show you. Any generator you can charge an item in. That should do it. Actually, I've got this I still need charging. But as you can imagine, with solar power you can only charge it in one plant, solar plant, and it takes absolutely ages to charge. Although that's not much of a demonstration because it's already at the top and you won't be able to see that one moving. There. Let's stick that back in there. So if you get all your solar plants running nice and neatly to one battery, then it will be able to store up all your power during the day when you're not using it, and you'll be able to use it. Oh, cool, that used up all of that straight away. I guess battery packs use up a lot more energy than I thought. One sec. Oh, I see. Battery packs, I've just looked up, store 60,000 EU. So somewhat more than any of these can handle, to be honest. Which is why that thing went wrong. Right, so that is the very basics of becoming self-sufficient. Even if you only have one or two of these solar plants, pumping to one of these batteries, as long as it can happily store it at the battery during the day, you can come back later on and it would have saved up enough power for you to smelt a few things, and you can make a bunch more. Now on my main map, this isn't it, this is just what I'm using for the demonstration. On my other main world I have large arrays of solar plants going like so, and I find it much more efficient than the flower formations that seem to be favoured online, because you can do it like so and have it running in a row. And then that going to let's get another battery box here, shall we? And I'll show you. It's obviously going to produce a comparable amount to the other one, but this means you can do it in rows. So it's a lot more space efficient, whereas those you've got to fit them around each other. So you can have rows and rows and rows of these. Now this is tier 1 power. You have 3 different tiers of power, like I mentioned earlier. And this is the first one. This is just used to directly power all of these machines. You can take power from any of the battery boxes, pump them straight into a machine, and everybody's happy. You can split the power cables as well, and do them in any direction you want, and it will still power the machines absolutely fine, although I don't have a spare to demonstrate. You'll be able to put banks of 3 or 4 macerators grinding up all your ores next to a bunch of electro furnaces, sorting them out in the other direction. Oh, one thing I haven't explained yet is wiring and rubber, which I should have done first actually. This add-on gives you rubber, which you get from a tree tap, which you just saw me make from a rubber tree. Now rubber trees are very noticeable because they have strange hairdos. I've got a couple over there as well that I found in the wild and walled off for demonstration purposes. And on these you can find, there's some there, some sap, or resin I guess you want to call it, for this. And if you right click with the tree tap once, you'll get a random amount between 1 and 3 of the resin. You'll only get 2 per tree, that's the maximum I've found. Bad haul that time. This tree appears to be not producing any. I dug it back earlier to find out, but there's none there. Now rubber is essential because you use it to make all your wiring These trees will produce resin no matter what you do to the shrubbery around it. So it's good to trim back as much of this as you can in the hope of getting... in the hope of getting more saplings. Because these trees are rare in the wild. Once you've found one, trim it back, make some saplings at home. You can get this whole area covered in trees easily, and that way every time you need some rubber you can go find them. Now let me explain about these. Right, if you cook resin, it will give you rubber. Ta-da! Now, those cables I've been making this whole time, you get copper bars, and you do 3 in a row like that, and you get 6 uninsulated copper cables. Now these you can use as normal cabling, but they're not insulated, so you will lose a lot more power from them. Sorry, I did mention earlier that you get new copper ore in this, didn't I? Yeah, probably. So yeah, you get uninsulated copper cabling, or you add rubber to it, and for every rubber you get 1 copper cable. Now those are the ones you get to use in batteries and such, and in machines, but also in these. They're the most basic form of energy transfer, and can only hold voltages of 32 EU. Is it volts? I don't know what the equivalent is. So yeah, they can only hold 32 EUs. If you put any more than 32 EUs through them, they will fizzle and die. Which is good but compared to machines, because if you put more than 32 EUs into a machine it will explode, which is not fun when you spent a lot of time building a load. What was I going to show you next? Let me check my list. Right, you've got the macerator there. What you need next is some ores. Let me show you. You need to make bronze. Now we've got the copper ore here. Anyone that knows their alchemy would know that sorry, chemistry I suppose I should say. Know that you need, for bronze you need tin and copper. Again I say, yeah, I know I'm cheating horribly having all of this ore showing, but I wanted to do it for the purposes of the video. That's my excuse anyway. Whoa. Right, so we need dust from these. It's going to take a while. Let's build some more macerators. Sorry, let's cheat some more macerators for now. Stick all of them there now. Right, 2 tin dust. We actually need more copper than tin. That'll do. Right, for every 3 copper you need 1 tin. There we go, and if you do that you get 2 bronze dust. Bronze dust can of course be smelted into bronze, as is pretty obvious. Now while that's smelting I will go and not find any I made earlier. I will grab a load. Here we go. And with bronze you can make all the usual stuff you'd be able to make with iron, like bronze tools. Even early man got to this stage. Don't know if I said that on this video or on the previous video I tried to do, but bronze is like iron, but it's more durable. I think it has the same stats as gold or something for how fast you can mine with it. You can make yourself a lovely outfit and a lovely set of tools with them. There we go. That depends on whether or not you want to replace the battery pack. I think I'll, although I do look kind of stupid with it like that. There we go. And I got myself some nice bronze armour. Lovely shade of orange. Whoops. So that's macerated all of them up nice and neatly. And we have lots of dusts. If we really want to, we can smelt them all up. Right. Now, the important reason, the main reason for having that is so that you can make a wrench. You may have noticed me using it already. Now, these wrenches are the only way to safely dismantle these machines. Because if you try and break them, they won't always give you back Well, that one did. But they won't always give you back the actual machine. Sometimes they'll give you back a machine block, which is a load of iron that I showed you earlier. So if you just one tap with a wrench, it will give you back the machine quite happily. Unfortunately, wrenches don't last forever, although there is, I noticed, an electric version of the wrench, which you just need to... There. Electric wrench, which you just need to regenerate of the power, and it will never die. Which is handy. But I haven't actually found a way to craft it on the website anyway yet, so I think it's one of those things they've put in but didn't mean to enable for the public yet. Right, now, one thing you're really going to want is the extractor. Now, you know I showed you how to get those taps earlier. I'm going to need 4 of those, and they have to be fully not damaged taps, so unused ones. I'm running out of space here, aren't I? Let's bin some stuff we don't need. That'll do. So, 4 taps. And we need another circuit. You need a lot of these circuits later on. This is why rubber's so important. So you would have needed 6 rubber to get this. Electric circuit. And that goes there, that goes there. And you get a very much loved machine, the Extractor. Or Extractor anyway. And that's filled all the way up. Now you may be wondering, what on earth does that do? Allow me to demonstrate. So yeah. I'll do, see if there's any on this tree actually. Heck. Can't get the groups of flying, don't do it often. Okay. But yeah, at the moment you've got 3 resin, and you think, great, that's 3 more rubber. So you'll need a lot more trees, etc. to get anywhere near what you want. Or, you can stick them in the extractor. And the extractor is your new best friend when it comes to making circuitry and stuff. Because for every 1 resin, once it actually gets there, for every 1 resin you now get 3 rubber, which is a major improvement. And also another nice little feature to note. Let me go and find those trees I had earlier. Man was not meant to fly. If you destroy these rubber trees, you get a chance at getting resin, but you also get a load of rubber, sorry about that, rubber wood, which sounds kind of funny to me, but still. So you can stick the resin in there, but you've destroyed your tree. Or you can stick the rubber wood in there, and for every rubber wood you get, it will extract 1 resin from it. So another good source of resin there, but then you'll be better off keeping your trees anyway for the future. So that's the extractor. So we've got the solar generators up, we've got the extractor. All of this, we're self-contained now, everything's great. I've shown you how to build the tools, and that way you can have infinite mining without worrying about damaging your tools, and infinite chainsawing. Let me show you the diamond one quickly while I'm here. Oh, actually I think I gave myself some earlier for the demonstration. Yep, here's some. So you take your mining drill and you do that, and that does nothing. One sec. Oh, well I was close. It's like that. But I can't use it because my drill isn't full. Or silly add-on. Let me just go fill up the drill. You can only ever do this when you've got a full drill or an empty drill. Same with batteries, you can only use them in recipes when they're full or empty. There we go, we have a diamond drill. Now this is marginally faster than the other one, and a lot of fun. Now you can drill for ages with this before you have to worry about running out of power, but obviously you can bring a battery pack with you, or you can bring your battery with you and recharge that way. Yes, I am right-clicking with the battery here. Hold down right mouse button, it fills it back up. If you just sit there holding it, staring at it, you'll get disappointed. All of this is running nicely. How's the extractor doing on that wood? Bingo. Okay. Right, the next stage here is, at this point you've probably got dozens and dozens of solar plants, and you want 10 extractors going while you've got 10 furnaces going. Now for that you're going to need tier 2 energy storage. Yeah, because these are already full, but then again I did cheat to get all of that. So tier 2 energy storage. Let me show you how to make that. Well, the first thing to note is you need diamonds, which I don't have on me. There you go, 4 diamonds, a bunch of redstone, because with these you can make shiny crystals. If you just surround these with redstone, you get energy crystals. Now these can hold, actually I can't remember how much these can hold. 1 second, while I look it up. These can hold 100,000 energy each, and they can be used in special tools and stuff like that, which you get later on, better than the tier 1 tools obviously. But mainly, well firstly, we use them to make tier 2 energy storage, which is done like this. We have an MFE, multifunctional electric transmitter apparently. Now if we wire this to this, yeah, nothing will happen because I forgot that the output only comes from one side on this thing, as you can see here. So you can't output from 2 sides, but yeah, there. Took me a long time to learn all this wiring stuff. So yeah, that is filling up at a rate of 32 because that is the fastest this thing can output. But this thing, this can output at 128. If you wire this directly into one of these things, I mentioned earlier there may be an explosion. For a start, if you try and wire in, actually let me get this going. Actually no, I don't know where to put it safely now. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll turn this. If you try to wire in these cables up to anything, the thing, it doesn't actually start transmitting the power until you wire something to the other end. Kaboom. That actually made me jump for some reason because I expected the wires to fizzle first. But yeah, do not do that. Cannot wire something that outputs at 128 to a machine that can only take 32. Lesson learnt, resources lost, everyone's crying. But it's lots of fun. That is if you haven't just spent hours looking for the resources yourself. So what you've got to do now, the basic purpose of this generator is it can charge the higher powered tools, which can't be charged in the baby generators. Oh, out of dirt. But also it can store a shed load more of stuff. Why is this not generating? Oh yeah, because I wired it to it, didn't I? Blonde moment. Yes, it can store 600,000. So if you're going to be away for long periods of time, or you've got an awful lot of generators, then you can either cable them directly to this, or as I like to do, you can stagger them. I tend to have a generator at each end of, well, one end of the solar array, and that will fill up nicely. And then I wire that to the, that's not going to end well. There. Then I wire that to this tier 2 generator, so I would have maybe 4 or 6 of these rows all wired together, and then they would all wire to the generator there. So if I had another bat box here, stuck in here, like so, you can stagger the formation, have a tier 2 generator storage on the end here, and that would fill up nice and neatly. And when that fills up, all of the remaining energy goes back to these guys, the baby generators. Now you may want to ask, now if you can't wire that directly to any machines, what's the use of it? Well, you can, but you need to have more powerful wiring. This wiring can only take 32 EUs. as said earlier. So what you need now, and I'm not going to go through the whole process of mining this, is gold. I do have gold bars around here, don't I? Good. Gold wiring. They're made in the same way as the others, but because gold's great, it gives you 12. Now you need to, in fact let's do half as many wires. You get insulated gold cable that way, but also if you put them back in, you get double insulated gold wiring. You can't go any further than that on gold, but you can later on. Let me dig up some stats on that a second. Gold wiring can handle 128 EUs maximum, but also it's uninsulated, you'll lose 1 EU every 2 blocks. Single insulated, you'll lose 1 EU every 2.2 blocks. 2 times insulated, you lose an EU every 2.5 blocks. So basically, the more insulated it is, the longer your EUs last. Now, if something's outputting 128, you'd have to go uninsulated 256 blocks before it's actually going to use up all that power, and it's completely worthless, but nobody's going to go that far anyway. So 2 times insulated, you're going to have to go miles before it uses it up. So what we're going to do now anyway, I'm really missing that dirt. What we're going to do now is we've got the cabling, but we can't use this in our machines. Let's just reroute all of this, shall we? No point in having that still going to the machines. Let's turn this round. Now all the energy is going straight to this guy. And it's only chunking up slowly because it's only outputting 32, and it's only sending it across when it gets 32 of power, and it's still powered from that thingamabob. Right. Oh, I still had stuff in that. So yeah, you want to link this up to here now. So what you need to do is you need to lower the frequency of that. It's still outputting at 128, but there's a machine you can get that will lower it down to 32, so it'll still be safe for that. Or, of course, you can use a bat box, but you need to lower the frequency enough to use a bat box, otherwise that'll explode as well, I do believe. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have paused it then. Didn't mean to pause it. I was just demonstrating what happens when you attach a battery box to it, which has left another large crater. And probably even less dirt. You know what, I'm not going to fill in the bottom this time. I like to keep my dirt. So yes, sorry that you guys missed that. I'm not going to show it again because I like my bat boxes. So yes, you need to fit this to... Oh, I've got too much dirt. You need to fit this to a transformer. And the recipe for that is pretty simple. I've got enough materials on me, I believe. So you need 3 copper through the middle, and a box for the thing to live in, and some cabling. There we go, we have a low voltage transformer. Now this can be used either way. It can convert low voltage cables to high voltage, so that you're pumping out 128, and it can survive longer distances. Because on cables like this, they're only usable really for short distances, because carrying 32, you're going to run out of energy quickly over a long haul. But this one, you need the triple eyes, I guess, facing the high voltage side. So if I put in, medium voltage, there's 4 different voltage levels, low, high, low, medium, high, and extreme. So if I cable this up to this voltage now, it is inputting that at 128, and it is outputting from any of the faces at 64. What this means is we should be able to attach a bat box now without major explosions. Stand back. Yeah. Yep, there we go, it's filling up nicely. Fantastic. So all the energy coming through there is now coming through here, being converted nice and quickly. So this thing's still outputting at 128 though, it seems, but that box is now full. But what it means is we can now convert that to... I mean, not convert it, we can now output it to... There we go, while I remember. We can now output it to these guys. And the machines will work again and everybody's happy. There's the extractor. There we go. It may seem a lot of hoo-ha to go through just to battery it back around, but it gives you a lot of extra storage to have one of these here. You want to see what you've got to do with Tier 3, that's a lot of fun. Now there's Tier 2 tools and equipment that make good use of this kind of boxes, this kind of energy storage box as well. Like the diamond drill. No, wait, I've used a diamond drill. Jetpack. That's good fun. Let me dig that up. Okay. Sorry about all the stopping and starting here, but it takes a while to look up all the recipes. Right, what we need for the jetpack then is... Let me just dump all this rubbish. Don't need any of this. I don't think. Okay, what we need for the jetpack is some of that glowstone and another bat box. And... Ooh, an advanced circuit, so we're going to need some blue. I'll explain that in a minute. Oh... Where are we, England? Right, advanced circuits are obviously made for advanced machinery. First off, you start with a normal circuit like so. And then you need to do this. You need some blue and you need some glow. And I think it works either way round. Yes, it does. And you get an advanced circuit. Now, to make this jetpack, you will need 1, 2, 3, 4. Then one of those. This is an electric version of the jetpack. The others use special fuels that are a bit of a pain in the ass to lug around and create, and I'm not going to go into them today. There you go. I have a jetpack. Whee! All you need to do is hold down space, and you'll fly around. Obvious disadvantage: it hurts a lot when you fall from distances, like so. But that can be countered with the joy of rubber boots. Actually, I should have probably demonstrated them a little while back. They're a nice little low-tier item. It's hard to get used to the jetpack. At least I won't need fly mode anymore. Ow. Not enough rubber. Not enough rubber. There. Okay, for rubber boots you need 6 rubber and 1 wool. Not sure what the wool represents. Now, rubber boots are in place of normal armour. They reduce your fall damage quite a bit. There you go, look at that. But from a decent distance it still hurts, but only half a heart, as you can see. So it's nowhere near as bad. These are very, very handy with jetpacks, but as you can see they wear out quite quickly. But still it's good for getting from A to B quite fast. Ooh, ow. Yeah, marvellous. Oh yeah, I'll show you how good this diamond drill is now. You know how long redstone usually takes? Ages. Look at that. Isn't it great? It's also quite good on obsidian if I can find some. No, there's none around here. But it takes about the same amount of time, which is quite nice. Yeah. Lots to avoid. So yeah, good little drill that. Good little jetpack. Jetpacks, they can be regenerated like anything else. Ooh. Don't want that to run out while you're up in the air. Actually, I don't know if it can regenerate on there. But it definitely can there. Look at that, that fills it up much nicer. And again, that's just electricity. That's free from those. You can use it wherever you want. But I don't think you can use the battery pack on that or anything else to regenerate it, so you have to come back here and do that. Marvellous. Now, before I forget, there is one thing I want to show you. Well, actually, there's a lot of things I still want to show you. But this will have to be one of the sooner ones. Sorry, mine's wandering. Whoops. Could be a bit of a pain getting used to the jumps on this thing. Right, I want to show you a cannery. But for that we're going to need some meat or some food. Cannery is quite useful. In that it can store your meat. Well, it can store any food in cans, which is probably pretty obvious from the name. Let's get rid of that, we won't need that anymore. And the stone, otherwise I'll just keep on smelting it. Right, so we've got some meat here, and we need, I've got plenty of tin, so that's fine. Right, to make this you need another one of those machine blocks. Oops. And another circuit. Probably see me make a million of these things now. No, you don't want to chainsaw the circuit. There we go. That's like that, and then surround it in tin. And we have a canning machine. Yeah, that'll do, let's put it there. Just going to grab some more tin. Marvellous. Right, with this, you need to make a shape like an inverted helmet. And you have tins. Just do a few. That'll do. Oops. Right, so, you give power to the cannery, and it's got power. Oh, a quick note, any of these can take power from batteries as well. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. So that's good. You can put the tins in the bottom, and you put the food at the top. Now, whatever type of food it is, if it's pork chops, if it's cooked or uncooked, if it's bread, it will produce cans. Each can gives you 1 health. It will produce cans equivalent to how much you put in. So these will give you 4 hit points, or is it 3.5? I can never remember. And it will give you 4 tins. Tins stack quite happily, but obviously food doesn't, so you have to do these one at a time. Ooh, that's handy. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Blat. Yeah. Damn things. Oh well. Let's get me some more of those. Just want to show you the uncooked version. That's an extractor. That's a tinnery. So yeah, if you put the uncooked version in there... Oh, you can still stack up tins there, by the way. It will give you 2. I think it rounds up, just to be nice to you. But yeah, bread works the same. I think fish does, although I've never fished in this game, ever. If somebody wants to tell me how, at some point, let them. And you can just fill all that up. Now, the good thing is, 1, 2, 3, healed back to full health, and I get the cans back, so I can just shove them back in there. You'll never need more than 64 cans, I assume. Just stack them up and fill them with food, and you're sorted. Oh, I made a nice little intricate trap out of a few of the other add-ons that just ground pigs to dust. It's quite funny. I had half a dozen pig spawners up there, which I cheat got through too many items, and they just fell into this nice little trap and got zapped straight away. Ooh, got some more rubber over there. But yeah, enough of that. So that's the canning machine. So yeah, you'll find that very useful because it stacks. Now you've got 64 health in one stack, although I'm not sure if it is 64 it stacks up to. I've never gone past 30 myself. Let me see if it stacks up to like 1,000,000 or something. Which, yes, is probably unlikely, but still. There they are. 64, yeah, fine. Okay, prove me wrong, will you? See if I can. Right, what I want to show you next is the compressor. And that's only because it's essential for my next few evil plans. You need a compressor to make certain alloys. Ooh, where have I put all that stone? I need that stone now, actually. I've thrown it all away, haven't I? That was clever of me. Alright, I need stone. I need smooth stone. Bingo. Actually, I could do some more wiring. Right. Stop muttering to myself. So what you do is you need another circuit. Yes, I should probably make 50,000 of these things while I got a chance. And you put that there, and a machine block there, and smooth stone around it. And you have yourself a compressor. Now, it may not seem like much at the moment because you need a lot of secondary materials to get it to work to its full potential. Well, I've still got all of these around. But it is very necessary for the next level. So I've got a bunch of tin. I've got a bunch on me anyway. And a bunch of refined iron. Now, what I also need is a bunch of copper. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to note with the macerator. I mean, obviously I said it gives you ore, gives you dust from ore. It also gives you dust from bars. So you can mince, not like 2 to 1 like you would before, otherwise you'll have infinite ore the second you get your first one. But it gives you 1 back for every 1 bar you've got. So I could sit here all day and watch that, or sorry, or I can just go and do the dust now. Right, tin dust and copper dust, you know, makes bronze. So give me 3 bronze for this. So I've got bronze, refined iron. Right, you need 3 refined iron across the top for this. I'm not actually going to explain what I'm doing. There, mixed metal ingot. So you've got 2 of them out of that. Now what you do with this is you stuff it in the compressor, and it will combine all of these metals together in a very compressy kind of way, and it will give you, drum roll please everybody, ta-da, advanced alloy. And that is useful for making advanced stuff. Where is it? Yes, I will show you how to make the rest of this stuff later. Advanced alloy. I need 4 for this next job, so instead of going around grabbing all of that stuff again, I have done one here. Here's one I made earlier, Blue Peter style, all that stuff. Right, just going to make another advanced circuit. You're going to love what I'm going to make. I've forgotten all the other ingredients, haven't I? I need blues and glows. Yeah, oh, they're not here. Where did... oh yeah, I got them from here. I do know what I'm doing, really. Let's grab a load of them. Right. Yeah. Don't go away. Right. Right, glowstone, bluestone, we have an advanced circuit. Now, what we need next is 2 more diamonds. This really is my favourite machine out of all of them, you know. And I'm sure most people will concur when they see it. 2 of them. And 1 redstone up there. Right, stuff these along the top. Advanced circuit around about there. Ta-da! A mining laser. Let's go and charge that little puppy up. Whoa! Really got to get rid of this jetpack. I'm going to send myself into orbit without realising. Filling that up nice and neatly. Anyway, so yeah, that takes a while. Let's just give myself a full one. Right, now this mining laser is a beauty. It has multiple... we'll put the jetpack on first. It has multiple modes. Ack. Ooh. Just get myself somewhere sane. That looks flat over there. Ack, ow, ow. Bashing my head everywhere. Right, I'm down. Right, if you hold down M and right click, it will switch between the modes. Low focus mode gives you one shot, like there. You can do 1 block in front of you, but doesn't always give you any resources from it. It's obviously low powered. As you can see, the energy bar barely goes down. Hold down M, next mode, long range. This you only get, I think, 8 shots, but if you right click there, it will tunnel for miles. I won't do many more of them. Right, next shot, scatter. Look at that mess. It's not exactly easy to control, but raining ores here. But it's a lot of fun. Let's see what it's like close up, shall we? Still not very easy to control. But yeah, makes a mess. Yeah, next mode is explosive. Oh, may have run out of energy there. Let's give myself a few more of these for demonstration purposes, shall we? Nobody minds today? No? If you do, you can write in. What's it doing? Explosive. Now this is not much good on stone, but very good for harvesting sand. I'll show you that in a second. Now the main mode I use is mining. What you do here, you do it. And you got yourself a tunnel. Whoops. And a jetpack that's thoroughly annoying and hard to control. So you do a little bit there, a little bit there. And jump down a bit. You can mine yourself a tunnel. And that becomes very useful. And when that runs out, you've always got your trusty diamond drill to carry on. It's great fun. But yeah, This means it's free energy, like the diamond drill, but you can use it for lots of crazy stuff as well. And it gives you loads at once. The mining laser feature, as you can see, doesn't actually use up as much as you may think. The high-powered one, you get like 8 shots and you're done. And it's a bit pointless. But this one... Why am I trying to pick these up? I'm surrounded by them. I've got a stack in the box. But yeah, let me show you that explosive one again. On sand. I find it best for farming sand for glass and stuff. There's some. Ooh, forgot to mention, Jetpack has a maximum height of about 80 something. Haha. Not going to run out of power, am I? No. No, I better use a different scatter explosive. There we go. It's got good range. It's good for blowing up enemies as well. Well, kind of. It makes a mess, obviously. It's like creepers everywhere. But if you're going to kill an enemy, I recommend the mining laser. It takes like 4 shots. And unlike with rocks, you see you get loads here, although my inventory's full. Unlike when you're shooting rocks, it can actually go straight through an enemy. I mean, it can't go straight through an enemy, I know what I mean. So you won't, you know, usually you'd shoot and it'll go for miles and you'll never see the laser again. But when you're shooting at an enemy, it stops. It sets light to them as well, but as you can see the rain puts it out. So yeah, it's a good function to use as a defensive weapon, or offensive, whatever you prefer. Eek. Ow. So that's the mining laser, my favourite little toy. Which is now full, so we can go off and use it. Just dump all this. Feel mildly over-cheating when I've got all them there. Right. Not that I didn't cheat to get all these resources, of course. Right, well you may think, this is great. This is all great and everything, but what about my armour? Well, I'll show you what about your armour now. So stop being so impatient. It's called Nano armour. When I can find some more coal. What you do is you stuff a load of coal in the macerator, or at this point in the game I usually have about 4 or 5 macerators. Let it work its way across, and you know that coal dust you get from it. Well, allow me to demonstrate what you can do with that shiny stuff. Not only can you use it to build solar power, but also gunpowder. Come on, coal dust, where are you? Yes, I know I'm cheating. Stop complaining. Don't want to sit here watching this for hours. Right, 64 coal dust, that'll do. Because that's how much we would have got anyway, so it's not cheating. It's time saving. So if you do them in a 4 formation, you get raw carbon fibres. Now, if you do carbon fibres one next to each other, you get raw carbon mesh. Isn't that exciting? Now, shove them in a compressor. And you get carbon plate. Now that we can use to make some armour. Or cheat like a little monkey and get loads and loads and loads here. Once I can find it. Carbon mesh, carbon mesh. Aha! Carbon plate. I knew what I meant. Right, first things first, we need more shiny red diamonds. Because we're going to make power armour. Or in this case it's called Nano body armour. And what this does is it has the same absorbent properties as any other armour, like diamond, whatever. At full health, all armour will absorb 90% of your damage taken. The difference with this is, once you make armour out of this stuff, you put this on, it never gets destroyed, it just runs out of power. So as the power goes down, the armour meter goes down. So I've just filled it with power nice and neatly there, and I can wear it like that. Look at that cool shiny armour, it's all black and Jammy, something like that, and that is how you make the chest. Right, just for sake of completion, I will show you the other armours as well. The helmet is like so. Oh, and it looks cool to have the full set, of course. Look at that, nice powerful goggles. No extra features with these, but it's power armour. What more do you want? Stop complaining. There you go. Ta-da! That's all my armour changed, and rubber boots. Don't know if I want to keep the rubber boots. Oh yeah, I'll show you how to make the boots. It's I need another energy crystal. That one looks good. I don't know if that one's full or empty. Should be able to use it. But that's how you make the boots. I guess I can't use that then. But that is the boots layout. When you've got a proper energy crystal. Right. Okay. One or two more things to show you, but for this I may switch to my other map. Actually no, I'll do that in a minute. Right, tier 3 storage. By now, if you're actually playing through it normally, you'll probably have lots and lots of solar farms. You can build 3 or 4 of these batteries together if you want, so that they're all filling up at the same time. Let me show you how to do that. Right. Obviously we don't need to come from this one anymore, so we'll skip that guy. Oh yeah, pretty much once you've got these you can ditch all of this stuff. Although you could probably still keep the sword. So replace all of those with just these chaps. Okay, turn that guy that way. There. That's going into there. Like so. Turn you around. Right, if you want several batteries to be filled up simultaneously, like if you got like a row of bat boxes I should say, but you got no but you haven't got onto tier 2 stuff yet, then what you can do is you can wire it like this. There we go, and the power that comes in is evenly distributed, pardon me, throughout all 3 of them. And you can have a whole row of them doing the same thing, or you can do you know, one in front of the other. You can wire to that one and have another row along there. But if you wire them all together like that, do I really want to stand on this in case it explodes? Yeah. I'm always wary of this thing now, I've had too many explosions. But yeah, if you put them all onto the same output wire, then it will transfer across the same way as it would normally from one. So you can store massive rows of batteries. You can have them several high, whatever you want. And that's, like I said, if you've got bat boxes, which can only store 40,000, but you don't have the diamonds to make something that stores 600,000. You can do half a dozen of these guys out of tin and redstone. But if you've got down to redstone, you've probably got at least 4 diamonds to make these guys anyway. So that's all of that done. What was I about to show you? Oh yes, tier 3. Now tier 3 is a lot of fun. Oh, actually there was one quick thing I wanted to show you apart from that. Did you know in this add-on you can craft diamonds? Where's the macerator? Oh. Yes, you can actually craft diamonds. And I'll show you how once I find some more dust. There it is. You need 64 coal dust for 1 diamond. And while I remember, I also need 1 obsidian. And whoop, there it is. Ace of these chaps. Right, it's a complicated little recipe, but if you definitely want to stay near the surface and you can't be bothered to mine around for diamonds, then this is for you. So you put coal dust all around the outside and you stick flint in the middle. You get coal balls. No sniggering at the back. Coal balls you stick in the compressor and they compress down into... Wish this thing would go faster, then I wouldn't have to keep the drum roll going. they compress down into coal chunks. No, they compress down into compressed coal balls, which are these guys. So let's cheat my way up there and get 8 of them. Once you've got 8 of those guys compressed down, you put them in a nice little shape around the outside there and stick obsidian in the middle, and you get a coal chunk. Stop that, you. Right, coal chunk, stick in a compressor, and skipped a bit of time there for you. You get 1 industrial diamond. Now, industrial diamonds, they can be used for any basic recipe, like diamond swords, any recipes with this mod, like turning them into energy crystals, but they can't be used... Why have I still got that thing? But they can't be used on any other mods, it doesn't recognise them. But they still work as normal diamonds for everything else. So you can still make an energy crystal out of them. Why have I still got all of these? Now, tier 3 stuff, there's a special type of crystal you need for tier 3. Let me dig that up a second. It's a very nice shiny crystal. For that you need 2 circuits. Ta-da! Put one at the top, one at the bottom. Energy crystal in the middle. Surround it with blue, and you get a lapotron crystal. Now these things can hold 1 million energy, which is very nice, which you soon come to realise means these things are pretty redundant now, because tier 3 energy is way above it. So what you need now is a tier 3 energy storage. For that I'm going to steal one of these chaps. And I need an advanced circuit. In fact, I'm not going to show you that. What I am going to show you is one of the items you need is an advanced machine part. Just dug up the recipe for that there, which takes 2 times that carbon mesh stuff I just binned rather stupidly a second ago. There it is, carbon plate, and 2 times the compressed advanced alloy, which you get by compressing those 3 different ores all together. Why have I still got these? So once you've got those, you need a normal machine block again. And you just stick these in the middle. And you get an advanced machine block, which is tier 3 basically. Used for all the kind of tier 3 stuff. Right, now we need more of these crystals. I'm not sure which one of these guys is out of power, or how to tell, to be honest, because I know I won't be able to use them if they're not. Guess I'm going to have to craft a load. Right, we need a stack of blue. Going to need a bunch of circuits. Let's save making myself any more circuits today and just get myself a stack, shall we? There they are. And a load of diamonds I've already got in the chest. Marvellous. Oh, I need to redstone them up, don't I? There we go. How many do I actually need? 6 of them altogether. So let's chuckle that on the floor. Right, so it's a shame this stuff can't be stacked, really. The red diamonds, I mean. So you need 6 of these chaps that can hold 1 million power each. And from what you've been seeing earlier, you can imagine how much that takes to fill up. And then you need to put them in a row down the edge. One of these at the bottom, one of these in the middle, and what else was it? Oh, an advanced circuit. I don't want to drop all of that again, so I will steal one. And you have tier 3 MFSU. Now this chap, it's a lot of fun. Stand back. No, no explosion. This can hold 10 million power. Don't know why I cabled that up, because it's not actually going in the right direction. Now stand back. Oh. Yep, there we go, it's filling up nicely. And it outputs 512 EU. Damn weather. So, anything that comes out of this thing is going to need some major work done before it can be usable for machinery. Allow me to put up a little production line over here. Actually, let's go and steal all of these chaps, shall we? You, I need. I need another one of you. No, I don't. Have I got one on? No. Oh, my wrench has died. Actually, let's get that electric wrench. Where did I see that? There we go. Don't know why I haven't found a crafting recipe for that yet. And a bat box I've actually already got, I think. Yes. Right. So, if you fill this little monstrosity with power... Actually, yeah, let's do that quickly. There we go. Split some coal up. Obviously this will take a long time to fill it up, and this amount of coal won't even scratch the surface, but it'll mean we were able to demonstrate what we need to do. So what have we got? We got copper cabling, we need some gold cabling. I've shown you the low voltage transformer. Oh, that's what I've got. Right, so anything coming out of this is officially classed high voltage. 512 EUs needs a special kind of wire, which I can build here because I'm too lazy to walk all the way over to the other side. Right, you get 3 refined iron in a row. It gives you 12 high voltage cables. Now, like all the other cables, you can... let me get myself a load of rubber. Right, like the other cables, you can insulate it, and then you can double insulate it, and quadruple insulate it. And suddenly you have a very beefy cable. Look at that monstrosity. It's a bit chunky, isn't it? Right, so this is high voltage, this is 512 EUs, but we can't have that outputting because it'll fry anyone that goes near it. It does actually. Once this is running, you actually get hurt by going near that cable. Right, what else do we need? Oh yes, a transformer. For that we need another machine block. You may think I've already got a transformer, but this is the medium voltage transformer. What this does is it converts high voltage down to sensible voltage. Well, mildly sensible. Still a bit giggly. Right, so the high voltage side goes on the side of the funny colours, funny signs. So now what should be coming out of there, prepare for any explosions. Let's grab a stack of that. Should be 128 EUs. And we have an MFE here. Of course it can still accept input at any power it wants to, which means it's a terrible demonstration, you should ignore it. But that's high voltage coming out there. And now if we put this in the rungs... I haven't actually done daisy chaining like this before, I've always done it to battery boxes. That should output 32, which is enough for those things. And yet again, if you stick a battery box there, it can take that much input. Okay. And this should mean that this is safe for machines, but I'm gonna be very nervous doing this. Because who likes explosions, honestly? Oh. Oh, it worked. Okay, we all live to scream another day. There you go, everything works fine. So you can output directly from that tier 3 storage box, which can hold 10 million energy, directly. I mean, you can cut all of these down to 1 cable a piece easily. Directly down to machinery, but I prefer to do it storage box wise. I'll have one big old power plant at the back. Well, you've seen what I've done over here anyway. I'd have that, a bunch of these going to a tier 2, going a bunch of tier 2s going to a tier 3, and then that tier 3 would directly link to a bunch of other power packs, so it scales nicely. Right, I think it may be about time to jump onto my other map, come to think of it, because all that's left to really demonstrate that I want to show off, there's a load of other stuff I haven't shown that I've never actually played with, like teleporters, Tesla coils, energy shields, all that stuff. But the main thing I've been using this for is a mass fabricator. Let me just save up a sec. And here we are, my home. So yeah, ignore all this. This is BuildCraft. BuildCraft going nuts here, building quarries and stuff. This is obviously the same map I had the other side, with a few minor alterations, a lot of digging. I should probably demonstrate BuildCraft at some point, but I might do that on another video. It digs out a quarry quite happily and produces all the resources here, which get sucked under here. They used to go straight to these chests, but they don't anymore. And they are fueled by the oil you saw earlier, which was stored over there. But yes, as you can see, I have a large amount of solar power panels here. Gone quite nuts with them. Did a lot of mining. And all of these panels up here, these are all battery boxes, like you'd expect. And all of these link directly to a tier 2 MFE. And as you can see, all of that it's getting inputted is getting straight outputted through the medium voltage cable to a tier 3, an MFSU, which is every time it gets to 512, sending it further down the cable. Now this, instead of using high voltage cable, the iron stuff, I am using fibre here. Not fibre, yeah, glass fibre it's called. Also the same down here, shed loads of the stuff. Because I found out this wasn't enough for my needs. Once you get a mass fabricator going, you'll see what I mean. They can absorb any amount of energy. It's crazy. But yeah, another tier 2 for this array here. 2 tier 2s, 3 tier 2s. Oh yeah, I put a tier 2 directly there instead of battery boxes that time, just to save on a bit of transfer. And because I had ample diamonds, I had a load of coal, shed load of coal left over. Once you stop needing coal, you realise how easily it stacks up. And I had enough to make quite a few diamonds out of it once I got all my work done. So all of this directly translates down to my mass fabricator, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got a little section back here where I originally did massive arrays, but I only do a few at the moment now. And it's just 3 on each block because I cut it down, but still left them as a block. I probably could do away with the bat boxes quite easily, but all of these here are ample enough to supply all my machines' needs downstairs when I'm doing normal stuff. That's what, 3, 6, 9, 18 of them, and all of these full bat boxes usually, and full MFEs, and those translate downstairs into all of these guys. I've got 5 macerators, 5 generators, a bunch of other stuff, and all the cabling goes down the back here. The loss in power for using all these cables is negligible anyway. As you can see, I've got a converter there, so the tier 2 goes straight down here, tier 2 energy, and converts into 64, so there's no real loss through there, and then converts to be used by all of these machines. How did I lose one there? So all of these work absolutely perfectly. Right, the mass fabricator then. I'll explain all of this mess in a minute. What a mass fabricator does is it's this little innocent machine here, and from all that energy outside, I've got it all pumped down underground into a little pathetic little mine I had earlier. Whoops! Oh, great! Now I've broken it. There. Don't tell anyone. This is where I just needed a bit of stone for some stuff earlier on. Okay, and the energy goes all the way, piped all the way through here into 3 of those guys. 3 tier 3 energy storage units. And I gave up on metal doors here because I could never get through them quick enough. So yeah, all 3 of these guys are on a switch. Oh, forgot to say, if you apply redstone circuits to generators, they stop transmitting. I mean, not to generators, to storage units. They stop transmitting their energy. All the energy they get in, they will keep to themselves like greedy little sods. This is a mass fabricator. It gives you UU matter, which is very exciting stuff. With UU matter, if you've got enough energy to produce it constantly, you're going to be a happy bunny, because you can make anything. Yeah, there's some different layouts for it. There's grass there. I haven't found half of them yet. Wood is just one of them. More grass for some reason. Oh, I don't know what half of the layouts are. But this is the most important one. Iridium plates. If we make a few more of them. And let me just show you this a sec. Oh, I don't really want to cheat on this map because it's the one I've done well, I say legitimately, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? Looking at the stuff outside. Alright, stuff it, I'll cheat. Just want to get a few of those compressed slabs on here. I know what I mean. Where are they? Or am I just looking for the wrong thing again? There they are. And one quick diamond thingamy-bobbity-me. Diamond. Hell. Guess here we go again. Don't tell anyone I did this. That'll do. So yeah, we need one of those Laferon crystal thingamybobs to make this armour. This is high tier armour. Where do those circuits go? Anyone spot them? There they are. Thank you. Right, one Lapatron crystal. I know what I mean. It's like saying it different, okay? Right, so you do that, and you get quantum suit body armor. Now, this is quite interesting stuff because it's supposed to do a lot more than it actually does. I should probably stop these chaps before they explode. Right, this thing takes a million energy. 1 million. Now, according to the description on the forums or on the IC2 website, this, once it's fully charged, will absorb 100% of any damage you get. So you should never take any damage when you're wearing this thing until its energy runs out. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case at the moment. And the rest of them are pretty wrong as well. But I assume it's something they're going to program in properly later because it's only version 1 of the add-on of IC2 because it's been completely redone from scratch. So I'll give the guy some credit just doing this much. The helmet, that is supposed to let you breathe underwater. The legs are supposed to let you run 3.5 times faster, and the boots are supposed to absorb 100% of all fall damage. Let's go test them. So yeah, I should never take any damage from falling, I should never take any damage from anyone else, now that I've got this far. But as we can see, not quite the case, unfortunately. Oh, isn't that pretty? So yeah, let me explain all that, all those pipes and stuff now. Okay, basically, everything that isn't a shiny. This isn't a Buildcraft video, so I'm only going to explain the basics. Buildcraft is mining out all of that stuff there, and it sorts it when it's underneath here for me. Very nice of it. Didn't even ask it to. Yeah, right. It's got a diamond sorting pipe there, and all of the shinies go to these chests here. Everything that isn't a shiny, i.e. stone, dirt, all that rubbish that you never really use, goes to a machine called the recycler. Now, the recycler is not used for getting rid of criminals' bodies. It is this thing. Any resource that goes into there, anything at all, will be recycled. Doesn't seem like it's doing much, but every single one has a small chance of producing matter. I mean, not matter, what am I talking about? Scrap. scrap. So all these blocks you never used in your past, you can stick in here, and it's a really bad demonstration there. Scrap. And scrap. And scrap. And if you put scrap in the mass fabricator, it acts as a booster. Now let me free up all these chaps again. So yeah, you can see it's making it now, but once you put scrap in there, hey, look at that fly. Isn't it great? So I got it all automatically pumping all my scrap over here, except these things tend to get a bit warm occasionally if they're not switched off regularly, which is a shame. Got too many bloody buttons here. That button's supposed to be for that one. I should probably move it over here. So yeah, marvellous. There you go, that's better. So yeah, all the scrap, everything that I don't use, all the stone, all the dirt, everything gets automatically turned into... Why is that stacking on top? Oops. That'll be my fault. Yeah, it gets automatically turned into scrap, which is massively accelerating on this. There's a few other nice recipes I spotted around as well. There's one for redstone here, somewhere. Spotted it earlier, there you go, 24 redstone out of these things. There was one for coal I spotted, but it only gave you like 4 coal or something stupid like that. So I didn't think it was worth it at all. But I know there's one for snow. Yeah, there you go, snowballs. Netherrack. Netherrack still. Lava. Water. Which one was that? Water. There you go. So yeah, there's lots of stuff. Apparently you can make just about everything in the game using just this stuff, but if you can find a list of recipes, I'll be very happy. All I knew was a few I've dug up. I don't think there's many around. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to say, to be honest. I think that's pretty much everything. Taking requests on what you guys want to see, and I think I might do another video for another mod I've dug up actually. Okay, hope you have lots of fun playing it yourself.